Hello, this is Jareth again. Today we're going to be talking about the book Healing Magick by Rose Manning. Now, I am not super familiar with this. I've used it a couple of times, but it's not enough to fully get in my mind because there's a lot of different versions of these words of power type rituals, and they're all a little different. Even in Damon Brand's books, where this kind of started. There's a lot of different variation book to book. And then in Adam's book is different with his sigils of power and transformation, and then and they have a version of it that's in the Archangels of Magic. So I always have to go and look and see exactly what order you do stuff in. So I'll be doing that with you here in this book, and it's still a very easy book, and a lot of people have reported some really good results. So I'm excited to put this into practice and to kind of add it to my arsenal of healing magic. Usually when I do a healing thing, I usually just go straight to Raphael, which I've had a lot of good success with. But it's good to have a little bit more than just your one go-to person for something. Sometimes you need, some other stuff. And this is some very specific magic. And if something is made specifically for something, sometimes it's better for that one thing than somebody who's a little bit more all-purpose. So that's kind of the way I personally look at the magic in this book. So she starts off talking about how magic is, healing magic is usually put to the side in the other books, especially in the gallery. Damon, I think, is especially concerned with making promises about healing, because it's real. People are very obviously. I mean, if you're sick or you have a loved one that's ill, it's there's nothing more important to you at that point than trying to find healing. And somebody that offers even the slightest bit of a promise you can build that up to be a lot more than what it is. And I think that he doesn't really want that responsibility, and he doesn't want people to put too much faith in magic healing. But throughout his books, there are several different rituals that do work towards healing. And so she points that out in here that there's all the he talks about not wanting to do healing magic, but yet he still offers all of this. So she's just like, well, screw it, let's do a book on healing magic. And so here we are. It is important to say, she talks about this, and magic should not be your only thing for healing. It should be complementary to going to the doctor, taking medications, and doing the things that you need to do. All of the modern scientific way of doing things, it's mundane, but you, like anything else in magic, you've got to do your mundane stuff if your magic is going to work. Now, miracles happen. Sometimes the body heals in ways that are unexpected, and it's great when that happens, but don't count on just that. Use the magic to help the medical science, and have it all work together. Try to make, we talk about holistic, but holistic tends to leave out sometimes the regular medicine. And I'm sorry, pharmaceuticals and modern medicine does work and does help people. And I know a lot of people are going to crucify me for that, but whatever. You need to do both, and don't rely just on a book that you bought for $10. That being said, magic can be a great help, and can fill in the gaps, and it can be there to make sure that the doctor doesn't make a mistake, or that the things that you need to happen just happen to work out the way that you need them to. So I definitely think it's a good idea to use the magic Just don't only use the magic. Make sure you cover all of your bases. So, where else are we? Okay. Excuse me. She does have a little bit longer section than most of these books do about the request. And she kind of talks about where the magic came from, which is from the Shorshey. I can't remember the rest of it because I don't speak Hebrew and I'm not a big student of Kabbalah. But this is a text that I've been seeing a lot of, and I'm kind of tempted to go try to track down a copy of it. I know that I think it's about $300 if you try to get your own. But most of the words of power rituals through all of the different books are coming from that, as well as I want to say Henry Archer's 7 occult money rituals. I think one of the more powerful rituals for that came from the Shorshey, but that might be wrong. That might be a different one. Anyway, this book is evidently a very powerful, practical Kabbalah text, and pretty much everything that's being made based off of it works really well. So this, speaks well for the magic that's in this book, if it all comes from that same source. So, she kind of talks about where the magic came from, but then we have, the section on the request. And she says that you should write the request down. And I am beginning to really agree with this. It's important to make something real out of your ritual. So write it down just in your journal or notebook or whatever you have. And you want to be direct and clear and specific. Like, I ask that you cure the pain in my arm. You don't need to get all flowery in this one. You don't need to do like in my books or the 72 Angels of Magic and write out a longer request explaining things in more detail. This is just, you should be able to sum it up in one line, and you usually preface it with, I ask you, and that's kind of that. But again, you need to write it down before you begin the ritual. That way, when it's time to do the ritual, you don't have to stop and think. You've got it right there. Okay, so, and when you perform the ritual, she has what I take to be a opening ritual that is not included in the summary. And it's a little visualization. And so you kind of get, when you're ready to do the ritual, you get in a place where you're going to be quiet and undisturbed for a little bit. And then you visualize, or you close your eyes and you imagine that it's twilight and you're standing in a field of grass. And then you picture that the sky is this pure, cloudless, starless blue. And then from above, a golden light illuminates you. The shining, it's like sunlight shining down on you, but it's illuminating only you. The golden light forms a droplet of shimmering white gold light on the crown of your head. The light trickles and descends through you, warming your heart, filling your entire body with white gold light. And I tend to like these kinds of visual things. I usually have a lot of, create a real sense of magic entering you and being ready to do the ritual. And they all kind of have a theme of power coming into you. So, and then she has like a brief say, if you have trouble with your imagination, she does just have a way of you can just say it. So she's got that written for you. So that's helpful. So whenever you have drawn the white golden light into you, you begin to chant 3 names of God. three words of power, if you will. And I don't think she says specifically like how long you're supposed to do this. I think it's just, just for a few moments and to get you, in that place, in that zone that you're ready to do the magic. And she, basically says that calling on these names, it's like flipping the switch to the power. That turns the power onto the ritual. And it's El Iaowe Agala. Ag Allah. So you would just chant, those names of power until you're ready to go. And you chant them with the intention that you're going to be performing magic. And you let the energy grow. And this is something that I'm beginning to find more and more in magic, repetition of these names or words or phrases of power can really build up a ritual and make it more effective. So you want to chant the names. You want to kind of focus on the sound of the names. And then when you feel the time is right, then you move on. And you look at the seal of the ritual that you've chosen. And then you want to hear the angel's name in your mind. And she's got it written there. So you just kind of, in your mind, you want to hear that name. And, and this helps you with make that connection to the angel. So then, now that you know that the angels are there and that they're on your side, gaze at the seal and know that the angel will help you. And what you're basically doing here is you're kind of shifting your intention, whereas your intention before was just just hearing the name. Now you're shifting it to knowing that the angel is there and is ready to help. And then you speak the name of the primary angel 3 times. And at that point, the angel is present and is aware of you. And if you don't feel anything, then it's still fine. If you're doing everything, if you've done everything right, you may or may not feel anything. Again, this always has to do with your specific gifts and how you perceive spirits. And it might take you a while to figure out how you're doing that because it might not appear the way you expect it to. Like, I'm clairsentient, I feel things. And it took a long time for me to realize that feeling I was getting was the spirit. And because it's in a weird, it's weird. I don't get into it. So even if you don't feel anything or you don't see anything or hear anything, just trust the magic. And that's so important. It doesn't matter what source it is. You just always need to trust magic. That magic in general, if that's what you need to believe, whatever, but it works. And that's what you need to do, even if you're not feeling anything. So you say the angel's name 3 times, like I said, and then you speak your request. And then you feel the need. And we're going to do that emotional alchemy here. You feel the need, and then you change that need. And with healing, it should be very easy to feel the need. You usually really, really want to get better, so it should be a lot easier than some of the more abstract stuff that we do. And then you switch that to gratitude, as though that the healing has already happened. Just imagine how grateful you're going to be well, and just want to feel that gratitude. And then to complete the ritual, you say the words El Iaowe Ag Allah. And then you go back to, your normal life. And that's all it is to this. It's a pretty simple ritual. And again, it's very similar to the other words of power ritual. So if you've had success with those, I'm sure you can have success with these. She does have another section here that is a little interesting, and it's about doing magic for others. Everyone always asks repeatedly if you can do magic for others. Yes, you can do magic for others. The little key that she kind of talks about here, which is kind of interesting, is don't tell them. Because if you tell them, then they're going to add their own feelings into the mix. And if they doubt or start, lusting for results or whatever, then that's the same as, it can be the same as though you're doing those things, and it'll sabotage the magic. So just don't tell them. I think that that's really a pretty interesting take on it. I like that. So yeah, and then it's got some nice rituals here, and of course I like the relieving anxiety one. Again, usually I go to Raphael for that, and it works well. But it's nice to have an extra, something else you can turn to for that. And of course, well, the one that's more important for us in what's going on in the world right now, the protection from epidemics. So, yeah, I don't want to get into everything that's going on right now, but I think we all need to do that one. So I guess that will be it for today. I'm going to, rather than post all of my stuff, I'm just going to post my webpage. And from my webpage, you can find out everything about my books and my Patreon, everything that you might be interested in seeing. If you like this, check out some of my other videos, and then, like and subscribe. I'm trying to make, get some kind of one of these for, every week or so. I don't know how long I'll be able to keep doing stuff like this. There's only so many books that are, like this to talk about. But I'm going to try to get everything covered. And I'm also doing some pathworking videos. I've done one with Raziel that's to clear the blockages out to help you make you a better magician. And it's a lot of fun. I really like doing those. And it works kind of like a guided meditation, only you have to do a little bit more because there's the emotional alchemy that you need to do, as well as, some other things. So YouTube gives me a really good opportunity to experiment with the pathworking stuff. And I've got another one. I've created a servitor to help keep people from getting sick. And I'm working on a video working with that servitor that you can use. So that'll be up soon. If it's not already up, I'm not sure. I'm kind of making recording everything at the same time. We'll see which ones I get uploaded first. So keep your eye out for those, and there'll be more in the future. So hit the subscribe button if you want to see all of those. And I will see you next time. Bye-bye.